As you may know, last week, Google dropped their god-tier AI video generator called Veo 3. This can generate audio with video, and it can do some pretty insane stuff like this.
Welcome to my humble empire, the only way to eat the finest ramen.
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts? Wake up, man.
So I went to the zoo the other day, and all they had was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Vote for me, and I'll ban the prompt theory from schools. There's no place for that nonsense in our lives. None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt.
Now, instead of jumping on the hype train, I spent the past few days thoroughly testing this to see how good or bad this actually is. So in this video, I'm going to show you all the cool things you can do with it, but also its limitations. Plus, I'm going to show you where to use it and how you can even use it for free. Let's jump right in. Now, the main place to use Veo 3 is through Google's Flow platform. Once you're in, you'll probably see an empty dashboard. Simply click on New Project to start a new project. And here is where you can enter a prompt to generate a video. Now, there are multiple options here, and I'm going to go over all of them, but for now, let's just start with a simple text prompt to video. Now, there are a few tips and tricks on how to write your prompts to make a better generation. Let's first try something like a Zoom call between 4 colleagues. Now, Veo 3 is extremely good at understanding your prompt, so you can describe all the actions in the scene step by step. For example, next I can write, one of them farts really loudly. The others look shocked and are trying not to laugh. Plus, because Veo 3 can generate audio directly, you can actually specify the dialogue in your prompt. So, for example, you can write one of them says, in quotes, "Who was that?" And it's best practice to use quotation marks when you're referring to dialogue that you want characters to say. And let's end this with another person bursts out laughing. Alright, and then notice that up here, by default, it does use Veo 2. So you do need to select this highest quality one, which is the only one that uses Veo 3. So let's select this, and then click Generate. It's around 3 minutes to generate 2 videos. Here's what we get. Let me play the first one for you.
Who was that?
Alright, who was the person that farted? Let me know in the comments below. But notice that for the most part, this is really good. It looks exactly like a Zoom call. The lip sync is perfect. It's so realistic how the people talk and laugh in the video. Plus, it follows my prompt exactly. The only noticeable flaw is that the names on the Zoom call are not correct. In fact, this is a known flaw for Veo 3, which is that it tends to generate gibberish or misspelled text in videos. Here's the second generation.
Who was that?
Again, it follows our prompt very well. Alright, let's try another prompt so I can show you some more tips and tricks. To really get the scene you want, it's best to specify the settings. So for example, instead of just a podcast interview, you can add more details on the settings. For example, in a cozy, somewhat dimly lit studio. It's also best to specify the characters exactly how you want them to be. So for example, the podcaster is an Indian man with a thick Indian accent. The guest is an Australian woman with a thick Aussie accent. Now, I'm trying this prompt out because I want to see if Veo 3 can generate speech in different accents. You can even go a step further and specify the clothing they're wearing, what they look like, etc. to really control the look of your characters. But here, just to keep it simple, I'm just going to leave it as is. And again, I'm going to specify some dialogue in my prompt. The podcaster is going to say, "What's your favorite healthy snack?" The guest will say, "Almonds, definitely. It's a superfood." Again, it's best practice to include the dialogue within quotes. And that's about it. Let's click Generate. Alright, here is what we get.
What's your favorite healthy snack?
Almonds, definitely. It's a superfood.
Alright, so that was the first generation, it seems like VO3 cannot do accents. But other than that, everything else looks perfect. Now, VO3 can do a lot more than just videos of people talking. One of the most impressive things it can generate is video gameplay. So since we're never going to get GTA 6, let's create it with VO3. So I'm going to prompt it with gameplay of GTA 6. Let's press generate and see what that gives us. Alright, here's what we get. Here's the first video. Alright, for the most part, it's not bad. I mean, the video is high resolution, it's quite detailed, but there are some really noticeable errors in the generation. Here's the second generation. This one is pretty good. Again, still a lot of flaws in the generation, such as the text on the billboards and signs, plus the cars aren't really driving in the right directions. So it's not great, but it can generate a GTA-like gameplay video. Let's try this one. Live gameplay of StarCraft with the gamer's webcam in the bottom left corner. The gamer gives commentary and excited reactions. Let's see what we get from that. Alright, here's our first generation.
There they go. They are doing it. They are doing it. The explosion.
And for the most part, this looks really good. This does look like StarCraft with a gamer in the lower left corner giving commentary and excited reactions. Here's the second generation.
We did it. Holy smokes. We did it. We did it.
Again, it's pretty good. From far away, this does look like StarCraft, but if you zoom in closely, there still is a lot of flaws with the generation. There is some like warping and artifacts going on, especially where the action is, and then the text is not really correct, but still very impressive nonetheless. Next, I'm going to try first-person shooter gameplay. The player is holding a crossbow shooting ogres and dragons in a fantasy world. Again, some minor flaws with the generation, but for the most part, this is pretty good. You can see how eventually we can use AI to generate video games on the fly. We no longer need to, design pre-built worlds or characters. The player can just prompt the AI to generate whatever they want, and the AI will just generate everything in real time. Another awesome thing about VO3 is you can control the emotion or tone of the dialogue. For example, you can get the person to whisper. So here, let's try this prompt. Close-up of a woman speaking into a mic, ASMR style. She licks her lips, then whispers softly and slowly. You know who's the hottest AI YouTuber? AI search, of course. Subscribe now. So if we click generate, here is what we get.
You know who's the hottest AI YouTuber? AI search. Subscribe now.
And then here's the second generation.
You know who's the hottest AI YouTuber? AI search. Subscribe now.
Or here's another example where you can specify the emotion of the speech. If the prompt is a woman looks extremely sad and speaks sadly, AI never sleeps. And then the camera pans right to reveal a man who is very happy and excited. He screams, and this week has been absolutely insane. Let's see what that gives us.
AI never sleeps.
And this week has been absolutely insane.
It's not bad, but I'd like to see more enthusiasm in the last sentence from the excited guy. Anyways, here's the second generation.
AI never sleeps.
And this week has been absolutely insane.
So as you can see, VO3 is super flexible. It can handle different tones and expressions of dialogue as long as you specify these details in the prompt. Here's another interesting prompt, a 90s sitcom scene. Here's what I got.
I am gonna go now.
Oh, hi there. Welcome to our home.
Alright, next you might be wondering, can this do singing? Can this do different languages? Well, let's try this out right now. By the way, another place for you to use VO3 is on Gemini. So they just rolled out this capability for pro users or above. I'll talk more about the Pro and Ultra plans in a second, but if you are subscribed, you should see this video button over here, and if you select this, you can use VO3 to generate videos. Now, if you're using Gemini, it's only text to video, whereas if you're using Flow, it contains all these other options, which we'll go over in a second. So keep that in mind. So to see if it can sing plus do different languages, let's try a K-pop girl group performing on stage. They are singing an upbeat Korean dance song. Let's click generate. Alright, here is what we get. Notice that if you use Gemini, it only generates one video at a time. Anyways, let me play this for you. As you can see, VO3 can definitely handle singing and different languages. It does kind of sound like a K-pop song. Now here's where we start to see some limitations of VO3. While it's really good at generating upper body videos of people talking, it's not that good at generating full body videos like this. As you can see, there's still a lot of warping and inconsistencies going on, especially around the edges of their arms and legs. So let's revise this prompt a bit more. I'm gonna write close-up of a K-pop group performing on stage, plus I'm going to add fast dynamic dance movements. So because this is a close-up, hopefully it's going to generate a better quality video with fewer artifacts. Let's click generate. Alright, here is what we get.
Let's go! Let's dance!
So for the most part, this actually isn't too bad. Next, you might be wondering, can this handle anime? So let's try an anime prompt right now. I'm going to write anime style. A female and male student stand on the rooftop, sunny summer day. The male says, I have something to say, I think, something like that. The female replies, yes, and then the male says, I like you. And then the female gasps, blushes, and looks away. Plus, we have emotional piano background music. Let's see if VO3 can generate this. Alright, here's our generation.
ずっと言いたかったんだよ。え？君のことが好きだ。
Okay, well, it actually handles the prompt really well. It speaks out the dialogue just fine, so it can definitely handle Japanese and anime, and the female does kind of blush and look away at the end, plus there is emotional piano background music. Very nice. Here's another test. I wanted to see if it can generate a live recording of a math lecture where the professor explains the Pythagorean theorem with a diagram on the screen behind him. Let's click generate and see what that gives us. Alright, here's what we get.
So that means that a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
And for the most part, it's pretty good. He does actually tell us the formula for the Pythagorean theorem. It's just that the diagram is not correct. Alright, so that's how you can use VO3 in Gemini. Again, I'm going to talk about plans and pricing in a second, plus how you could potentially use this for free. But for now, let's go back to Google Flow, which has more features. So next, I also want to test its understanding of human anatomy and jiggle physics. So let's try this. 2 women wearing bikini running towards the camera. One woman has a beautiful, perfect body. The other woman is morbidly obese. And also with this prompt, I'm also trying to see how censored VO3 is. Can it even allow me to generate women in bikinis? Let's click generate and find out. Alright, here's what we get. Here's the first generation. And here's the second generation. And I must say, for both videos, the jiggle physics are spot on. Everything just moves really realistically. I also wanted to see how good VO3 is at generating fight scenes. One of the major challenges of existing video generators is that most of them still cannot generate a flawless fight scene. So let's see if VO3 can do any better. So here is an intense fight between 2 kung fu masters, high action. The sound effects there are a bit exaggerated, but other than that, I mean, they're actually fighting really realistically. We no longer see any warping or inconsistencies going on with the limbs. Like, this actually looks like they're throwing punches and kicks at each other. Here's the second generation.
Here I come.
Try to take this.
This one is also pretty strange. It looks like it decided to add some dialogue at the beginning, but the characters aren't actually speaking any words. But the sound effects of the punches and kicks do sound super realistic, plus everything else, like the entire fight, looks pretty flawless. They are like punching and kicking each other without any noticeable errors that we've seen with other video generators. Next, I also wanted to see how good it is at understanding human anatomy, so I prompted it with a gymnast performing flips. Notice that for some of the time, I might get a pop-up message saying that this prompt violates their content policy, so there is some pretty strict censorship going on. But it's kind of strange how it would allow me to generate women in bikinis running around, but it wouldn't let me generate a gymnast doing flips. Anyways, after prompting it further for several times, it does generate a few videos with this prompt, so here are some examples. First of all, notice that this one does not have audio, plus we're still seeing all the strange stuff that we've seen with other video generators where her head suddenly pops up from her butt and then it's just a complete mess. This is not anatomically correct. Here's the second example. Oh my lord. So in terms of doing gymnastics routines and flips and other challenging moves, VO3 is still not perfect. I also wanted to see how good it is at understanding my prompt, so I'm going to input this challenging prompt with different events and camera movements. A race car explodes off the starting line, the camera tracks it from the ground level, drifting with the tires, then shoots up into the sky, revealing a massive blimp overhead. The camera zooms into the blimp's window where a villain watches through binoculars. So a pretty complex scene with multiple camera movements. Let's see if it can pull it off. Alright, here's the first generation. Very nice. It does start off with a race car from the starting line, and then the camera tracks it from ground level, then the camera shoots up to the sky to zoom into this blimp window with a villain holding binoculars. Very nice. Here's the second generation. It's also not bad. It follows exactly what I specified in the prompt. Next, I also wanted to see if it can generate existing people. Of course, we gotta test out your favorite prompt, Will Smith eating spaghetti. So let's press generate and see if it can handle that. Now, unfortunately, same with the gymnast example, when I run this, it gave me the same pop-up message, which is that the prompt violates their content policies. So it seems like VO3 won't allow me to generate most existing celebrities or characters. However, there is a workaround to this, which is frames to video. This is basically image to video. So if you click here, it allows you to upload an image for the start frame or the end frame. So let's select the start frame. We can either upload an image to use as the start or end frame, or we can also generate an image using Google's latest image generator, Imagen 4. Now I'm going to try to upload this image of Will Smith eating spaghetti, and notice that it prompts me to crop this image into 16:9, which is the only video aspect that it can generate. I'll talk more about this limitation in a second, but notice that I do need to drag this into a 16:9 frame. So let's click crop and save. Now notice that if I upload this, again I see this error. This upload might violate our policies. Try a different image or send feedback. So it seems like even uploading an image of Will Smith eating spaghetti doesn't work. So instead what we're going to do is we are going to upload a photo of Will Smith and Queen Elizabeth eating spaghetti. And let's see if this works. And would you look at that? It actually works. So we got through the first layer of censorship. Next, I'm just going to write "they are eating spaghetti" and then press generate. All right, here's what we get. Note that Will Smith doesn't really look like Will Smith, and then Queen Elizabeth doesn't really look like her. There's something subtly off about both their faces, but nevertheless, it could in theory generate Will Smith eating spaghetti. You just gotta bypass some of their censorship layers. Thanks to Monica for sponsoring this video. Monica is an AI assistant that provides access to the best AI tools all in one place. This includes the top AI models like GPT, DeepSeek, and Gemini, plus the top image generators like Flux and Stable Diffusion, and the top video generators like Kling and Hai Luo. This is a killer deal because you can use all of these in one platform for way cheaper than if you used all of these separately. You can use this as a browser extension on your desktop or on your mobile device. And their browser extension is context aware, so you can interact directly with any web page you're on. You can easily get Monica to reply to emails or summarize an article. So for example, let's say I'm on this page. I can get Monica to summarize this really technical article in just one click. And here's something even cooler. You can even generate a mind map from this content, which can help you understand ideas more visually. Note that this is way more convenient than just copying everything and going to ChatGPT to ask it to summarize the article. You can also use Monica to summarize YouTube videos. So here's an example. Let's say I'm watching this YouTube video. I can get it to generate a summary or even generate a podcast in just one click. Let's try this one. It even gives you a list of highlights with the correct timestamps. Plus, if you click on this, again, it's generating a mind map for you so you can understand everything more visually. With Monica, everything is just a few clicks away. But don't take my word for it, they have over 10 million users worldwide with a 4.9 star rating on the Chrome store. Try it out for free via the link in the description below. And when you're ready to upgrade, use my code AISearch10 for a nice discount. Full details in the description below. Alright, next I'm going to upload this meme as the first frame, and then I'm going to write, the woman in the light blue shirt is extremely angry and shouts at the man, "Really? Did you just... Ugh! Don't even bother talking to me after this." So let's click generate and see what that gives us. Alright, here's what we get. What the hell was that? Alright, here's the second generation. Okay, that is really strange. First of all, it does not speak out the dialogue that I specified in the prompt. Now, I tried the same thing with a slightly different prompt and a slightly different dialogue, but it still couldn't really get the woman to talk. So here's the generation. So it's really strange. It seems like if you do image to video, then you can't really get the characters to talk. This might be a limitation of image to video, and I can understand why they would set this. I mean, obviously they don't want people using VO3 to create deep fakes of existing people saying whatever they want. Anyways, here's another huge limitation of VO3 and image to video. So notice that if I upload this vertical image, as I've shown you before, VO3 can only generate horizontal 16:9 videos. So even if I upload a vertical image, I still need to crop this image first into a horizontal frame, and if I don't crop it fully and I leave some black edges along the sides, let's actually see what happens. Alright, so notice that for my first frame, I have some dark edges along the sides, and then I'm gonna write fast zoom up to the girl's face, showing a very scared and surprised expression. She then turns around, starts running away towards the background, trying to escape. The camera follows her as she runs down the street at night. High action, shaky cinematic. Let's see what happens. Notice that at the beginning, it's just hard cutting from my input photo to what it generates. It's not a smooth transition, so this is not great. Notice that VO3 cannot generate vertical videos, so this might be a deal breaker for some of you. It's not going to work for creating TikTok videos or YouTube shorts. Alright, here's another huge limitation. So we also have this ingredients to video feature, which is basically like reference to video. You can upload photos of any reference character or object that you want to include in your video. So for example, I'm going to upload this cat girl and then this GTA 6 video game, which I generated with GPT-4o. And then for the prompt, I'm going to write, the cat girl is at the beach holding this PS5 game. She says, since we ain't got GTA 6 or cat girls yet, let's make them with AI. Then a giant whale breaches from the sea in the background. Unfortunately, if you select from the settings, it does not allow you to select VO3. So if I click on this and then press generate, you'll see this message at the top. I need to switch to a compatible model for this feature. So it looks like ingredients to video only works with VO2 as of now. Well, since I already uploaded everything and made the prompt, let's click run anyways and see the result from VO2. Alright, here's what I got. It is the same cat girl holding the video game, but the video game isn't the correct size, and then it's just a hard cut to a whale kind of breaching, but it's not really breaching, and there's no audio because this is VO2. So this feature isn't great. Note that you can't use this for VO3 yet. And I mean, this reference to video feature is an extremely useful feature that allows you to upload reference characters so you can get consistent characters throughout your scenes. But if it's not available for VO3, again, this might be a deal breaker for some of you. While we're on the topic of limitations, here's another huge limitation. You cannot control the voice of the character. So let's say you want to generate multiple clips with a consistent character with the same voice. There's no way to control the voice. You can't upload an audio and get V3 to lip sync that to the video. Note that for other video generators like Kling, they do have this lip sync option where you can generate an audio clip first using a voice cloner and then plug it into Kling to lip sync your audio to the video. VO3 cannot do that. It can only randomly generate audio with the video, but you have no control over how exactly the character's voice sounds like. Next, I also wanted to see if VO3 could not only generate music, but actually sync the music to a video of the instrument being played. So for example here, the prompt is a woman performs Für Elise on the piano, the camera focused on her fingers, pressing the keys with precision and emotion. So let's play these two generations. As you can see here, the song is not Für Elise. Plus, the keys that she's pressing do not align with the piano music that's being played. So it's not that good yet. I would be pretty mind blown if it could actually pull this off. I also tried a female violinist performing an epic violin solo on stage. So here are the two generations. Again, the violin sounds aren't actually aligned with how she plays the violin, so it's not that good yet. Here's yet another limitation. While it seems to be really good at generating gameplay like StarCraft, VO3 is pretty bad at generating sports games. So for example, here the prompt is broadcast of a FIFA World Cup final match with live commentary. Here are the two generations.
And he's put it wide, a very poor effort there. And it's a goal.
The fans go wild.
You can see the quality of the game is not great. Next, I tried adding even more detail to this, so a player breaks past the defense and then scores a goal. The crowd goes wild, the commentator screams goal. And here are the two generations.
Goal. Goal!
Again, the quality is just really bad. Instead of a soccer game, let's try a simpler one like a tennis match. So here the prompt is an intense tennis match with live commentary. Here's what we get.
It's a strong serve from the young player. She's quick off the mark though. That's a great return. He's moving fast.
So again, it's pretty awful. It doesn't even understand that a tennis match should either be 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. I don't know why it's having one person on one side and then two players on the other side. Plus, the ball is just all over the place. There's just way too many errors with these generations. Alright, finally, let's go over the pricing and plans, plus a potentially free way for you to use this. So Google currently offers 2 paid plans, the Pro tier and the Ultra tier. Now the Pro plan is the cheaper option at $20 a month, and you will get limited access to VO3. I don't know why it still says 2 here, but I actually started off with the Pro plan and I did get access to VO3 in the Gemini app as well as in Google Flow. So it seems like they just haven't updated this to VO3 on their pricing page. However, this is just very limited access. You get enough credits to generate around 10 videos on Flow using VO3 and 10 videos on Gemini using VO3 every month. If you want more generations, then you'll have to go with this Ultra tier, which is way more expensive. It's $250 per month, but you get way more credits. This allows you to generate over 80 videos with VO3 every month. Now let's go over the free way you can use this. First of all, they're doing a promo right now, so if you sign up for the Pro plan, you get 1 free month. You do need to enter your payment details, but you just need to cancel your subscription before the month is over and you won't get charged anything. So you get 1 free month, which is around 20 videos which you can generate with VO3 on Gemini or Flow. Or if you're a student, at the time of this recording, Google is offering the Pro plan to students for free for 15 months. You just need to enter your student email and receive a verification code. Again, once you're on the Pro plan, you can generate around 20 free videos with VO3. It's still a very limited number, but at least right now, this is the only free method where you can use VO3 as far as I know. Anyways, that sums up my deep dive on VO3. While it is insanely good at making certain types of videos like interviews and upper body shots of people talking, it's far from perfect. It's very censored and you cannot generate most celebrities or existing people. You also cannot control the exact voice of the character. So it's pretty much impossible to generate multiple videos with consistent characters that sound the same. Plus, you can't generate vertical videos. So this is not going to work for like TikTok or YouTube Shorts. That being said, even with all these limitations, in terms of quality, it's still by far the best video generator out there. Especially if you look at this independent leaderboard by Artificial Analysis, VO3 is all the way up here with an ELO score of 1247. It beats the other state-of-the-art video generators by a huge margin. I mean, it's not even close. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think of VO3. And if you've had a chance to play with it, what do you like or not like about it? And what impressive things were you able to generate from this? As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.